Everybody, thanks for tuning in again, back with another video. If you've been following along with the channel lately, you know that we've put in the cold air intake and the tune on the car. I ended up going with the Lund 93 tune along with the JLT cold air intake. And there's a lot of back and forth between people with the open box and closed box cold air intakes, whether they're worth it or not. So this video is actually before, or this part of the video is before the tune goes on and everything. I want to compare the inlet air temps. It does show on the car, so we're just going to go off that temperature. It's probably pretty accurate, so we'll go off of that. And just to see how much it raises, if it goes up at all with the cold air intake, whether it's opened, compared to the closed box stock one, because a lot of people also say maybe don't even bother with the cold air intake. It's pretty good stock on these 18 plus cars, so I thought I'd just go over a little bit of this and see what we come up with. A little bit of results, some testing. I like doing all these kind of videos. It's fun for me. Hopefully it helps you guys out. If you're new to the channel and you like this kind of thing, make sure you go back, check out all the other videos. Like I said, we did just install the intake and tune. Check out all that. There's going to be plenty more coming. Weather's turning around finally. So, and yeah, if you like what you see, thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get all the notifications when the new videos drop. And let me know what you think of this video. All right, so I started off. I'm going to try to keep this as close as I can. I know it's not going to be the same day. The temperature could probably be a little bit different when we are back with the colder intake, but at least we can get kind of a ballpark of how high up and down it goes with driving and sitting and all that. So I've been driving around, it's operating temperature, and I've been sitting in the parking lot here now for about 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll fire it up. We'll get the temperature outside and the temperature it is when we first fire up the engine. I'll sit here for a few minutes, see if it goes up or down, and then I'll do one loop around the block, and we'll see how much it drops driving around the block. And then I'll come back to this spot, and then we will just sit here and idle for a few minutes and see how high up she goes, say, I don't know, 5 minutes. And that will give us a good enough test for what I want to see. And then, like I said, once the colder intake is on, I'll come back out here, I'll do the same thing. It'll be the same video for you guys, but obviously different time for me, because right now under the hood is still the stock box. So let's see what she is at. So we'll fire up the car. It'll take a couple seconds to come on. There you go. You can see outside is 8 degrees. Sitting here right now, it started at 17 when I looked. I know in the morning, I do park the car in the garage, so in the mornings, you know, pull in the garage, it sits all night, it'll start up and the inlet air is, you know, 20, 25 degrees sometimes. You start driving, even just starting the car, it will drop just because it is cool in the garage. It's just, you know, sitting overnight with the hood closed, nothing moving. It soaks up the heat in the box, but it'll drop right away just like it is. So we're at 15. We'll sit here for just a couple more seconds. If it doesn't drop or raise, we'll do one loop around the block. And you can see down here, we are at operating temperature right in the middle. It's not hot, it's not cold. So yeah, as we sit, we'll say 15 degrees. So that's 7 over the outside temp. So just driving, we went about a block. You can see it's dropped. There you go, went down another degree. We're at 12 now. I'm gonna keep it around 60. We'll just do the speed limit. I'm not gonna be ripping around doing any high performance crazy pulls and anything like that, because like I said, I want this to be as accurate as we can. So I'll just do the speed limit. We're coming up to a busy road here, so I'll turn this off and flip you guys back on when we get back around the block. Okay, so that's fully around the block. The speed limit on the busier part was 80. Let's turn back into our parking lot here. And it did drop to 11 just momentarily. Obviously, the higher speed you go, the more air from outside is getting sucked in, and the lower your temperature will drop. But we went not too many kilometers, but like I said, it dropped to 11, so that's 3 degrees away from outside temperature, which I drive the car at night most of the time. It's always cool. And when I'm on my way to work and just cruising around, it is usually around the 2 to 4 degrees from outside temperature is what I've noticed. So that's pretty much where we're sitting right now. You can see it's back to 13, but I'll sit here. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. So I'll sit here till about 5 after. I'll let it just idle here, and then we will see what it is sitting at. All right, there you go, guys. 11:05. We've been here 5 minutes, and she has only got up to 15 degrees, so not as bad as I thought it would be. It is a cool day outside. Obviously, if we were doing this, you know, in the middle of summer, or if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where it's always hot, then I'm sure your temperatures will go up and down a lot quicker than mine. But this is for my car around my area where I live. So if you're in a colder climate or somewhere where you don't get too smoking hot, you should have similar results. But let me know if you happen to keep tracking your car, let me know what you're getting. Okay guys, there you go. So you can see it doesn't vary too much. It's, you know, between 4 to 7, 8-ish degrees difference between the outside temp and your inlet air temp with the stock box. So it is a closed box. We'll see. I'll go back. I will get the JLT put on, come back out here and see what results we get. I can't control Mother Nature, unfortunately, but according to the weatherman, it's supposed to be, give or take, roughly the same temperature for this whole week. So I should have plenty of time. I'll try to get out around the same time of day, and hopefully we can get some accurate results and it helps you guys out. All right guys, here we are back again, very next day. It's a little bit warmer today, 11 degrees now instead of 8. The intake is installed, so we're gonna hook up the GoPro. I remember the GoPro for this part of the video, so you guys won't be bouncing around and shaking everywhere. I had to use my phone the last time because my genius brain left the GoPro at home, but we got it this time, so I'll set you guys up. Same thing, we've been sitting here for about 5 minutes, so we will see what the initial temp is when we start. We'll idle for a couple seconds. We'll do the 1 loop around the block. I'll go the same route I went on the last one. You guys will see how it goes up or down. And then same thing, we'll get back here, we'll park, wait about 5 minutes, just let her idle, see if it goes up or down or if it stays the same. And then you guys can determine for yourself if it is worth getting for your car, or if you're happy with the temperatures, maybe you think it's too much, or if it's in the range you're looking for, it should be all good to go. So I'll hook you guys up and away we go. All right, so like I said, it's been about 5 minutes, so let's fire it up. See what it's at when we start. It's showing 22. So we'll let it idle for a sec, see if she goes up or down. Like you can see in the top there, it is 11 degrees outside. So sitting 21, 22, we'll say it'll be at that. So let's see what she does when we start driving. Same as last time, no crazy pulls, no high speed. We're just gonna do the speed limit. Once we get down around a couple corners, the highest we get is about 80, 85 kilometers an hour, so nothing too crazy. But we'll take her around and see what she does. You can see the first little initial drive, it's actually going up. First part is a school zone, unfortunately, so we don't want to make these kids run too fast. We'll cruise through here. There's always cops watching. Start cruising, actual cruising speed, it does drop right down. We're at 18 now, so that's only 7 above what's the outside temperature. Still a little warmer, obviously, than the stock box. This is also the middle of the day. We're at 10 to 2 in the afternoon. So there is traffic. This will kind of be like if you're cruising around town. Obviously, if you're on the highway, you're not stop and go and braking and different speeds. You're just cruising. It would stay nice and cool. But if you're driving around and you're big into the racing, waiting in the line, we all know how long that can take sometimes. It might not be what you're looking for, because your temperatures will definitely go up. But we made it back now. Like I said, just one loop around the block. So I'll come back down here, little parker, let it idle for a second, and we'll see what she gets up to. Currently at 18. I'll let it idle for about 5 minutes again, and I'll turn you guys back on and see where we're at. Well, there you have it, guys. This is 5 minutes later. We're all the way up to 37 degrees. We are sitting in the sun. Maybe it is a black car, that'll add a little bit under the hood, but not much. But you can see she's still climbing, 38. So if you're worried about your temps, you want the lowest temps you can get, you're in between open box, closed box for your cold air intake, I'm gonna say go with a closed box. For me, I wasn't really too worried. I'm not going full race car, and we only have one drag strip here. It's a little bit of a pain to get in there even, so I'll be driving on the street most of the time, where you can see it does drop down and your temperatures are all right. But you know, if you're somewhere where your car is going to be sitting, idling, we're almost up to 40 degrees, and you can see it's still only 11 outside. So this may not be right for your setup, just something to keep in mind. All right, so there we have it, guys. You can see we do have the foam block in there as well, supposed to block some of the heat out of the car, but she does get much warmer intake air temps with the JLT for sure, because it's an open box, of course. So if you're looking to keep all the temperatures down as much as you can in your ride, this one I'm gonna say is probably not for you. I did go cruise around a little bit. Once you get cruising, you know, 80, 90K, it does drop right back down to, like, you know, 15, 16 it was sitting around. So that's not bad, but as soon as you stop at a light, it's roughly every 10 seconds it'll go up at least 1 degree. So, and then as soon as I got to a little bit of traffic, like go and stop, maybe a little bit slower, around 50, 60 kilometers an hour, it was right up to mid-20s. And then when you get to a light, of course, you're sitting there for a couple minutes, you're mid-30s up to 40, depending how long you end up sitting there. So, and then of course this is your sensor here that picks up the heat. It doesn't feel hot, and that is not gonna pick up instantly. So once you start driving and it's sucking in cold air in the car, of course it says, you know, 35, 40 still, you're not actually sucking 40-degree air into your engine, but nevertheless it is much warmer than the closed box stock one that was in there. But for me, I drive around at night, there's not much traffic, I work overnight, so that doesn't affect me too badly. And I cruise, I go on the highways, I do that kind of stuff. I'm not, well, I do drag race, but it's been closed for the whole year this year, and next year is not looking promising, or this season I guess is not looking promising. So I'm not too worried. I think it looks good. I want my car to look good. For me, the open air looks much better than the closed box. The closed ones, like your Steeda, looks the same as stock basically, and then they make a couple other ones. Roush looks pretty good too. It's just the lid's too big for me. I don't know, something was throwing it off for me. I'm sure it works just as well, but for me it was mostly looks is what I was going after, so can't complain. She does look good, but if you're worried about temps, I hope this video helped you out. It is, you know, a real life test. We're driving around today as if we would be, you know, cruising to the store, cruising to pick up your kids, or stop and go. You'd be waiting in your line to rip down the quarter mile, go down the strip, and you know, you got to take into account your engine will be sucking in a lot warmer air than it would with a closed box, in my opinion. So if this helped you out at all, make sure thumbs up and subscribe. I'll keep these videos going. The tune is on now. We're just waiting to get our data log run back. I haven't actually opened her up yet, just in case. I'm sure the tune they send is fine, but just in case, I'll get it checked, and then we're gonna have a lot more videos coming with this setup now. So stay tuned, thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching this one. Hopefully we catch you in the next one.